Mean. Definition. Mean is the sum of the data items divided by the number of items. So mean is one of the items that is under the measures of central tendency. We have under this the mean, the median, the mode, and the midrange. Finding the mean, here's the formula. Mean is equal to the summation of all items, that's x. Summation means you have to add all the items divided by the total number of items, which is your n, where summation of x here represents the sum of all the data items, represent the number items. So the number items here is your n. And mean can be described also as x naught, or you have a short bar on the top of the x. So that's the symbol for mean. Example. Are investors born or made? It would be nice to think we could all be great investors, but history says otherwise. Based on a sample of adults in 10 selected countries, shows wide agreement that inventiveness is a quality that can be learned. Find the mean percentage of adults in the 10 countries who agree that inventiveness can be learned. So applying the formula for mean, we're just adding all the numbers here, the 10 selected countries, and that would be our n. So the formula is x naught, or the mean, equals to the total of all those selected countries divided by n, which is 10 here. So we'll just take the numbers here. We have 92 plus 84 plus 84 plus 80 plus 78 plus 77 plus another 77 plus 75 plus 75 divided by 10, which is our n. So let's double check. So we have 92. I think that's the first one. Then followed by 84, 84, 80. We have 78, 77. So we have 377. So let's just put another 77 here. 75, 25. So let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 10 items now. Adding that, it gives you 799 divided by 10, and the answer would be 79.9. So that would be our mean for this example. Now in your calculator, you can also use the stat function to add all of them automatically, and then you will get the mean. So next example. Calculating the mean for a frequency distribution. So when many data values occur more than once, and a frequency distribution is used to organize the data, we can use the following formula to calculate the mean. So we have the formula here. Mean equals, that's x bar equals the summation of the product of the items times the frequency divided by n. So where x here represent each data value, so that's each item. F represent the frequency of that data value, represents the sum of all products obtained by multiplying each data value by its frequency. So that would be the summation of x times your f, and n represent the total frequency of the distribution. Here's the example. So what we're doing here is applying the formula. So we will multiply x f, so 0 times 2, and the answer would be 0. Multiplying 1 times 1, that would be a 1. Multiplying 2 times 3, that would be a 6. 3 times 12, that would be 36. 4 times 16, that would be 64. 5 times 18, that would be 90. And 6 times 13 would be 78. Multiplying 7 times 31, that would be 217. Multiplying 8 times 26, that would be 208. 9 times 15, that would be 135. 10 times 14, that would be 140. And then you add all those numbers from 0 to 140. That would be the top of your formula divided by 10. Sorry, it's not 10. It should be, you're not looking at, no, it's not 10. You're looking at the stress rating for 10 here. Frequency, the total frequency. So we will add 0 plus 1 plus 6, 36, 34, and then um, that would be the top, and then the bottom would be the frequency, which we're going to add 2 plus 1 plus 3 plus 12 plus 16 plus 18, 13, 31 plus 26 plus 15 and plus 14. And it will give us here the total frequency would be our N, and that would be 151 for the second column. And then adding the products from 0 to 140, that would be 975. So our formula is the mean is equal to summation of the products for x times f divided by n. So our answer is 975 divided by 151. And our final answer would be 6.5. That would be the mean for the frequency distribution. And the second measure of central tendency would be median. So median is the data item in the middle of each set of rank or order data. So it means that if your given data is not in order, you have to arrange that in order from the smallest to the highest in order for you to find the median. And you can see that on the steps on finding the median of a group. Number one, arrange the data items in order from smallest to largest. Second, if the number of data is odd, the median is the data item in the middle of the list. The last one, if the number of data items is even, the median is the mean of the two middle data items. So if you have two uh, middle data items, let's say you have an even number of data, so that could happen. So for example, you will get like two data items like 2 and 3, so you just add 2 plus 3, then you have to divide it by 2 in order for you to get the median. If you have an odd, then you can actually get the median right away, because you can always identify the middle part, and that would be only one item in this case. Example, find the median for each of the following groups of data. So the first step is to arrange this is in order. So you can actually find the median. So the smallest is 84, and then you have 88, and then 90, then 95, then 98. So let's check. 84, that's the 84 there. 88 is right there. 90 is here. 95 goes here. 98 goes here. Okay, so median here is the middle part. So this one, that would be 90. Okay. So let's say I will add one more item here. Let's say I put 100 here. So if you're going to find the middle part, you will have to look at the middle by doing this. You have two on the left to the right, so the middle part would be this. So what you're doing next, the median there would be equal to 90 plus 95 divided by 2. So that's how you actually find the median there. Because this one, you have even number, that would be 6 items here. Unlike a while ago, you have only 5 items. So the middle data items would be 90 and 95 in this case. And then you're going to just add them. Then you divide that by 2. So you will get 92.5. So that would be our answer, 92.5. So that would be the second case or the second example. Just in case the number of data items would be even instead of odd. Next example, finding the median for a frequency distribution. So you're given with a table. So you have the first column, your X, that would be the stress rating, and the frequency is on the second column. So what we're doing here is we're trying to find the median in a frequency distribution table. So what we can do is adding the frequency. So adding the frequency, it gives us 151. So that would be the total, which is our n. Again, our n here is 151. So finding the median here, we're going to divide this by, so 151 divided by 2, it gives you 76. That would be 75.5. That 76th position. So we're trying to find that by looking at the second column. So adding the frequency there, from 2 to 6. Let's try that, adding that one. So you have a 2 plus 1 plus 3 plus 12 plus 16 plus 18 plus 13, and you will have, at this point here, you have 65. So we're looking at the 76. So if you include uh, 31 here, it gives you 96. So the 76th position is at this point here, which is actually at 7 for our x. So that's how you find the median in a frequency distribution table. So we can actually write our answer. We're going to say that the 76th data item is at 7. So that would be the median stress level rating, which is at 7. And that would be our answer. So think about it, that when you're taking the measure of central tendency, there are two. That is just like a raw data. That's the first one. The second is a frequency distribution. So that's a group of data. Okay, the next one is the mode. That's another measure of central tendency. Mode is the data value that occurs most often in a data set. So the one that appears most in your data set. If more than one data value has the highest frequency, then each of these data value is a mode. So that's the condition. So if you have an equally divided number of data sets that are the same, then that would be your mode also. If no data items are repeated, then the data set has no mode. So that's the last possible answer that you can have. If there's no repeated data items, so here's the example. Find the mode of the following groups of data. So you have 7, 2, 4, 7, 8, 10. So looking at this, obviously you have two sevens here. So you have 7 and 7 here. And the rest, it's a single number that appears in the list. So two sevens means that would be your mode. So mode here is 7. And that would be your answer. The last measure of central tendency is the mid-range. Mid-range is found by adding the lowest and the highest values, data values, and dividing the sum by 2. So that would be the mid-range. So and that's what we did normally when you do the median also. So mid-range is the lowest data value plus the highest. It's like you're trying to get a range. So if you have the frequency distribution table, we have to look for the range. So you have to find the lowest value among the lists and the highest value. Then divide it by 2. That would be your mid-range. Okay, so let's look at the example. Newsweek magazine examined factors that affect women's lives, including justice, health, education, economics, and politics. Using these 5 factors, the magazine graded each of the 165 countries on a scale from 0 to 100. The 12 best places to be a woman and the 12 worst places to be a woman are shown below. Find the mid-range among the 12 best countries uh, to be a woman. So you're looking at among the 12 best countries, mid-range for that matter. So find the lowest plus the highest, then divide it by 2. So let's look at the table. So we're looking at the best places to be a woman. So not the worst to be a woman. So we are just looking at only this one here. Okay, the first 2 columns. So we have to find the lowest value to find the mid-range. So mid-range here is equal to the lowest plus the highest divided by 2. So our lowest here is, we're looking at 87.2 plus the highest. The highest, it's on the top, it's 100 divided by 2. So it's just a simple calculation, simple formula. Simple calculation by a simple formula. So the answer would be, adding this divided by 2 is 93.6. And that would be the mid-range. So those are the 4 measures of central tendency. 1, mean. 2, median. 3, mode. And the fourth one is mid-range.